Welcome back to Conquest of Nerath, the Dungeons & Dragons board game by Wizards of the Coast. Very risk and slash Axis and Allies like. And now it is time for the Elves to go. And I am going to, and of course we start with the draw phase. So I can just show you again quickly here the different phases that we're going to be going through. We're going to do the draw phase, which is draw one event card from your deck. Then we're going to move any or all pieces on the board. We're going to fight battles, reposition, reinforce, and eventually collect income. So the first thing is the draw step. And so we're going to draw one card at the top of the shuffled Elven deck, and we're going to draw something called Arrow Volley. And Arrow Volley says play at the start of a battle. Vailin foot soldiers in the battle gain first strike until the end of the battle. This is a rain of arrows strikes down foes before they can attack. All right, so we have that. We also have this card from before, from the initial draw for setup. Stormwind, I'm going to play this now. This is play during your draw step, which is right now. I should clarify your draw step. If you draw a card that says play during your draw step, you can play it immediately. Transfer one enemy warship or storm elemental from its current space to one adjacent sea space of your choice. The chosen sea space must be friendly to the transferred piece. And it says the Elder Druids of Lord Vailin's Council are primal weather masters. So we're going to discard that card because we're going to use it. And we're going to take this ship right here, which is sitting in the Shining Coast, and we're going to move it here to the Vailin Strand, right next to our capital. All right. That concludes the draw step. Next is going to be the move step, and I guess I will do the moves on screen here so you can see what I'm moving, how far they can move, bridging actions for boats, that kind of thing. So I'm going to do some zooming around, do some moving around, and we'll get to the part which is moving right now. So we're going to move all the Elven units into position. All right, so the first moves I'm going to do are going to concentrate on the Elves getting into dungeons, plundering them because we can get some good artifacts. So the boats can move 2 spaces. This boat's going to move 1 down here. It's going to load on this noble, this Elven fighter. Now there's 2 Elven fighters on the boat. It's going to move 1 more space, and I'm going to tip it over so I know it's moved. And these 2 Elven fighters are going to go into that dungeon. All right, let me reposition over on this side of the board, and we're going to see if we can plunder 2 dungeons this turn. All right, so right here, it's hard to see wizards and the foot soldiers look similar from a distance. This wizard can move 2 spaces, 1 to 2. He's going to move to this dungeon along with the fighter. So we have a fighter and a wizard moving into that dungeon. Now I'm going to do a little bit more thinking for all the regular soldiers, and we're going to get moving a bunch of those, and which will lead, of course, to battles. All right, so I'm going to have a monster battle going on here. So monsters can move 2, 1, 2. It's going to move in here. I'm also going to fly our dragon up 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have a dragon. We'll flip him over and we'll lay him down so we know that they've moved into this space. And now I am going to move this boat 1 space here, picking up the siege engine. Before I moved, I was going to pick up this foot soldier. So we have foot soldier, siege engine. That's 1 move and 2 to this space. And we're going to drop them off behind enemy lines up here for an attack. We're going to move the storm elemental 1, 2 spaces here just off the coast. We will move this elven unit up 1. We will move, we're going to leave him there. We're going to move this elven unit here. And of course I'm just flipping them over so I know that I've moved them. That's going to take care of, I think, all movement in this section. Let's go over to the other part of the board, move our final pieces. And after that, we're going to get into fighting some battles. All right, so some final movements here. We're going to move the Storm Elemental 1 space over here, and it's going to be attacking this boat. I am going to move the 2 foot soldiers in here to attack these guys. This foot soldier and the siege engine are going to move in there, and we're going to do another monster versus monster battle right here. That moves all the pieces, so I'm not going to move anything else, I don't think. And so that is going to be the end of all movement. So I'm going to zoom out again. I'm going to write all of the laid down upside down pieces, and then we're going to go into battles. All right, so I made the mistake with Karkoth to not do the dungeon first. The elves, of course, are smarter than the undead. They are going to plunder the dungeon immediately. So we're going to have the wizard and the fighter are going to take on a mind flare. I use it rolling an 8-sided die and a 12-sided. Ouch, that's going to be tough. So let's go over to the dice tray and we'll do the battle. It's happening in the Forbidden City. All right, this is going to be a pretty tough battle. He's rolling an 8-sided and a 12, and both of our wizard and our fighter get to roll 10-sided. The wizard, of course, has first strike, which means he gets to roll first and possibly do a damage before anything else happens. And so he's going to do that right now and rolls a 4 and misses. I'm going to roll all of the other dice together. Actually, I'll do the fighter. Here's the fighter. Does he do a hit? Nope. Oh, wow. This is not good. Our Elven wizard and fighter do not do any hits against the mind flayer, who is now rolling an 8 and 12-sided. And also gets a 4 and a 5. No hits. So it's stalemate on the opening attacks. So let's do the wizard again. First strike. Come on, let's do something. He rolls a 10, which is a hit, which means of the 2 dice the mind flayer is playing with, of course, he's going to lose the lower denomination one. So he'll be rolling only 1d12. Now it's the fighter's turn, and the fighter rolls a 4, which is not enough to defeat the last life, or the 12-sided, and the mind flayer rolls an 11. That is going to be a hit. So we're going to remove the elven fighter. Come on, we need some luck. So all that is left now is the wizard. The wizard needs to hit and kill the mind flayer. Let's do this. And he rolls another 10. And because it's first strike, that's going to eliminate the 12-sided die. The mind flayer is defeated by the elven wizard. However, the fighter died in the battle. That's great. Let's go back to the main board and we will see what treasure we got for plundering the dungeon. And before I forget, of course, also on the bottom of the mind flayer's reward, they get +1 gold. So they're going to get a gold and a treasure card. So let's see what they get. Okay, so our elves successfully plunder the Forbidden City dungeon. So they're going to collect 1 gold for defeating the mind flayer. And they also get to pick up a treasure card. And they get the Rod of Resurrection. It says play at any time. And it's a property, which means it'll be an ongoing effect. It says once during your turn, when any of your heroes is destroyed, you can spend 1 gold to instead place the hero in any friendly space. And it's worth 1 victory point when you play it. So we'll play it right now. It'll become in effect once during turn, which will be the next dungeon. So that's cool. If we lose one of the heroes in the next dungeon, he can just appear in an adjacent friendly space if we spend 1 gold. All right. So we're going to play that immediately. That is now effective for the foreseeable future for the elves. And we're going to get 1 victory point. So let's go to the victory point track and move our elven and human alliance up 1. All right, the elves and men get 1 point. They are now 1 point versus 6. However, we're moving up the track. There's still a lot of the elven turn left, so let's get back to the board and continue. Of course, the next thing that the elves want to do on their turn is they're going to take their 2 fighters and they're going to plunder this dungeon. And what do they run into? A lovely ochre jelly. But you need a 7+ to hit this guy, and he's going to be rolling 2 6-sided dice. So let's go to the dice tray. We have our 2 heroes in the Tomb of Horrors taking on the ochre jelly. All right, no first strike ability this time. So I'm just going to roll for our 2 heroes. They're rolling 10-sided die, and we did 7+ to hit the ochre jelly. And we get, oh darn it, a 6 and a 1, and no, we can't add them together. So that's no hits for our fighters. And the ochre jelly rolls 2d6s, but it also needs a 6 to hit us and does not hit anything. So next round of the battle, we're going to keep going. A 5 and a 1 is a miss, and the ochre jelly, 4 and a 1 is a miss. Come on, let's take this thing down. Delete roll that one. It's not sitting properly. This time we get an 8 and a 4, so we do 1 hit. However, Retaliation, no hits. It's going to lose one 6-sided die. And I'm just going to roll them together. So now we have 2 fighters versus 1 6-sided die for the jelly. And okay, the jelly kills one of our fighters, but one of our fighters manages to roll a 10, takes the jelly out. So we do have a fighter who is being eliminated. However, we do now have the Rod of Resurrection, so I am going to spend 1 gold piece to resurrect this guy, and he can show up at an adjacent friendly space, I think it says. Once your turn, when your hero is destroyed, you can spend 1 gold to instead place the hero, in any friendly space. So he can go anywhere. All right, back to the board. All right, so a long shot here. So our 1 fighter was killed, killed by the Ogre Jelly, but I'm going to relocate him to any friendly space. He's going to show up at the Deep Havens with this foot soldier. So I'm spending the 1 gold here from the Elves. That brings them back down to 11. And now they also get a treasure for plundering that dungeon. That's the 2nd dungeon plundered. So that's awesome. They get another treasure. And it is the Boots of Speed. It says play at the start of a battle or play at the end of a game round. Property, your fighters gain first strike. Okay, so you have to play at the start of a battle or play at the end of a game round. So does that mean at the end of a game round? All right. So we have to do this at the start of a battle. I guess once we play Boots of Speed, it's in effect for the rest of the game, which means all of our fighters gain first strike. I believe that's how that works. If that's incorrect and you know better, please let me know. So at the start of a battle, and I don't think a fighter has to be involved in the battle. You just have to play it at the start of a battle. It doesn't say play at the start of the battle, including a fighter. So we're going to be able to gain 1 victory point. Of course, we're in the battle mode right now, so I'm playing it right now at the start of a battle. We're going to do this little battle right here, which is a siege engine, a foot soldier versus an undead foot soldier. So I'm playing this now. It's going to give us 1 victory point. So that's another effect that's going to remain in play for the Elves. So 2 successfully plundered dungeons. Let's go to the point tracker and score another point for our Human-Elven Alliance. All right. I wish we could have got a 2 or 3 point victory or treasure card, but we only got 2 1s from the 2 dungeons. However, we did plunder both dungeons. So now our Human-Elven Alliance up to 2 points. All right, back to the main board. We're going to get right into some battles. All right, so slightly out of sequence, but we took the victory point for the Boots of Speed, but we are now at the start of a battle, which is this one. So siege engine, foot soldier versus a foot soldier. We kind of snuck in behind enemy lines with our boat, picking up some units, dropping them off. Let's go to the dice tray and roll that battle. Okay, we're battling over the Broken Lands. The Crimson Ramparts, not the Broken Lands. All right, we're going to roll 2 d8s and a d6 for our Elves. And we do manage to get 1 hit, 6+ on the siege engine, which is going to destroy the skeletal warrior. However, the skeletal warrior, of course, gets to shoot as well. Our fight, and he does not do anything. So our Elven units unscathed. Let's go back to the board. We have just captured that land. Okay, so right here, we've just captured our first enemy territory for our Human-Elven Alliance. We're going to put the Elven Conquest marker here because this is an original Karkoth space. That is going to score 1 more point for our Elven Human Alliance. Back to the score track. Okay, we're not doing too badly. The Elves get up to 3 points now. So our evil dudes are at 6 and our good dudes are at 3. All right, back to the board. I think I'm going to do 1 more short battle and then we're going to leave it off for part 1 of the what are they called again? The Vailin Alliance, the Elves. And the last battle I'm going to do for this video is we have the Elven Storm Elemental here, and we have the Iron Circle Boat. So this is going to be a fight that happens here in the Scarlet Bay. All right, let's go to the dice tray and do that. Okay, so Storm Elementals have a special ability called Capsize, which means if they're doing a battle in an ocean or water space, they roll 2 d8s, kind of like the siege engine on land. If they're just defending in a land space, though, or fighting in a land space, is just 1d8. So they're going to roll 2d8s trying to capsize the Iron Circle boat. And an 8 indeed will destroy the boat. However, the warship does roll a d8 in defense. See if it can take out the Storm Elemental, and it rolls a 1. So good luck for the Elves. Their Storm Elemental is untouched, and they do manage to sink the Iron Circle warship. All right, so the Storm Elemental here in Scarlet Bay sinks the Iron Circle ship. And because it is a water space, it does not count for victory points. Only conquering land spaces count as victory points. However, the Elves not doing too bad so far. They've plundered 2 dungeons. They've conquered 1 of the Karkoth spaces. We still have another, we have 3 more battles to do when we do part 2 of the Elven turn. Again, so thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me next time for the Vailin Alliance, Part 2, the Elves. And we'll see if they can get conquering some more territory, getting some more points, and hopefully maybe tie up where the Evil Alliance is sitting right now. All right, thanks so much for watching. Join me next time for Conquest of Nerath.